A new week, more data, and yes, our governor can't get anything right. Next. You got that right. Nothing there is surprising. I'm sure of it. We're going to go over those articles as well as where are the interest rates going, all next on Real Estate Daily. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and on this beautiful Monday, we're going to go over the real estate market, housing, and mortgage markets. Now, before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Boom, boom. I'm going to give you the best 5 to 10 minutes in real estate on a daily basis. Now, let's jump into it. You know, guys, on Mondays, what do we go over? You got it, the Kobesi letter. Let me go get that up there for you. There you go. Key events that are happening this week that are going to affect somewhat of our lives and the housing market. Let's go over it. September PPI inflation is going to be on Wednesday. The Fed meeting minutes are on Wednesday. CPI numbers Thursday. Boy, this is all about inflation this week. OPEC monthly report. Well, we already know that what the events that are happening in the Middle East, which we all pray for to end very peacefully or quickly. You know, OPEC has now come out and they've obviously cut production, a couple weeks ago, and they're going to, and we saw again another spike in the fuel. So hopefully they're coming out and they might make some adjustments. Then the jobless claims on Thursday. Well, we know we can't really actually believe them, and we're going to go over that tomorrow. We're going to break down the jobs market on that, and especially the report that came out last Friday, and show you how much bullshit that was in those. And then a total of 12 Fed speakers this week. Oh my God, stick panties in their mouth. They have nothing good to come out of their mouth. They all have something different to say, which then affects the market, and it doesn't do them any good. So this is this week's events. Hopefully we will see something good come of it. But let's jump in the Kobesi letter again. And guys, this is on X or Twitter. Give them a follow. They have 400,000 followers. They keep growing every day, but they give us the best data out there. It says breaking. This is all today. Breaking. Median monthly home payment in the U.S. rises to an all-time high of $2,839 a month. According to Reviture Consulting, the median home payment has now gone from $1,035 to $2,839 in the last 10 years. So in 10 years, it has doubled. But you know, the value of homes have doubled as well, actually gotten way over double in the last 10 years. Now you think back, 10 years ago, we had just got out of that recession that was due to the housing market and the mortgage market and the way that, mortgages were packaged and sold out in the world from Wall Street. So it was just a complete debacle. After that, 3 years later, look at home prices actually have more than doubled out there, especially entry level. They've gone kind of through the roof. It says, meanwhile, mortgage rates just hit their highest since 2000 at 7.93. Housing affordability is now officially at its lowest levels in U.S. history. How can this end? Wow. So we're seeing the graph here. Let me go show the graph. This is it just keeps going up. The medium home payment, it just keeps going up and up and up. I've said this once, I'll say it 100 times. We really right now have the have and have nots. And this administration is really making that difficult and tearing that middle class apart. If you own a home and you've owned a home for the last couple of years, well, you have a set monthly payment and you're not being affected as much, especially on the housing, as you would if you're a renter. A renter then has to deal with a yearly, every year he gets another lease. And that lease typically is just pushing it up and up and up. And especially with the way the housing is, there's just not enough houses for people. And that is just causing this kind of nightmare that we're dealing with. Well, what other nightmare do you want to see? You got it, Gavin Newsom. And this is definitely something that again, he effed up. I mean, amongst all the other lies and bullshit that he continues to come out, spew out his mouth. Here we go. Newsom rejected an opportunity to stabilize the home fire insurance market when he vetoed AB 2450. Let's back this up. Right now, the big crisis, besides your monthly payment and your mortgage, in your interest rate, is fire insurance. Fire insurance is going out of control. Why? Because carrier after carrier after carrier are leaving the state. They don't want nothing to do with it. Why? Because Ricardo Lara, the state insurance guy, and this guy right here, Gavin Newsom, can't really stand not getting all of their glory. So when other people have spoken up and have come up with better ideas, they want nothing to do with it because they want to be the main attraction. Just like when you go to the circus, who do you want to see? The lead clown. And this is the lead clown right here, Gavin Newsom. Let's go read this article. This is Orange County Register, and let's go read this. Says, the truth that, and let's go start right here. Right here. The truth is that Gavin Newsom had an opportunity to act on this issue a year ago when he received a proposed law, that authored when representing many of the state assembly. Assembly Bill 2450 would have required the California Department of Insurance to evaluate a meaningful way to lower fire insurance costs for home and property owners in high wildfire risk areas. Well, this has gone beyond this now, because anywhere that there is a potential fire, and that's almost all state, you're seeing that these have really jumped big time, the rates. This legislation received unanimous support from both Democrats and Republicans, not a single no vote. They all voted yes. They want to go and reduce the fire insurance that every homeowner pays here in California. And what happened? You got it. Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed the bill. Well, now you ask yourself, why did he veto the bill? Well, our governor is one of those guys that you go to a circus, and when you're going to the circus, you know that there's a lot of different things there, but you're going to see the lead clown, and that lead clown likes to clown around all over the place because he wants the attention. Gavin Newsom wants the attention. Let's go read on to this article. If Gavin Newsom would have taken this issue more seriously a year ago, we would now be one step closer to expanding the insurance coverage and reduce costs of living residents seeking relief. He likely wouldn't have needed the issue the executive order. Instead, Newsom wrote a veto message on AB 2450 in September 2022 that statutory mandate was not necessary. So he said back in 2022 when he vetoed, it's not necessary. Things aren't going to happen. Well, the problem has now gone viral here in California. And between him and Laura, they decided in their little negotiations, well, let's go bring State Farm and Farmers Insurance and whatever. Let's all bring them back in, guys. Let's go sit them down, right? Let's go sit them down. Okay, says in September, Gavin Newsom issued an executive order taking emergency regulatory, of course, executive order. That's all he ever wants to do is executive orders. Can't be anyone else's issue. It has to be him taking control. Executive order taking emergency regulatory action to bring some stability to California home fire insurance market. This is particularly important to homeowners living near Southern California hillsides. Newsom's action came after he and State Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara failed to negotiate a deal to keep home fire insurance carriers in California, an ongoing problem that Newsom could have begun resolving in 2022 when a bill addressing the very issues was on his desk. More on that in a moment. Guys, why? Why is everything an emergency? If you would have thought it out in advance, if you would have looked at that bill and taken it seriously, if you wouldn't have had to been the one that had to introduce the bill, it's the only way you're getting it passed. If you would have been looking after the best interests of the Californians in this state, then you would have known that anything that you do should be in their best interest and not in your political business. And that's we see over and over and over. What does he do? He attacks the governor of Florida 6 months ago. Why? Who gives a F what's happening in Florida if you live in California? Gavin Newsom obviously does. Then he attacks, the Texas governor for shipping, illegal aliens or illegals, into Boston. Again, has nothing to do with our state. Our state is a complete train wreck, but he just wants national attention because he wants to run for president. But these things just keep showing how incompetent he really is in this state. I mean, come on. How about addressing the homeless? The homeless is, what is it? You ran on you were going to get the homeless down. significantly. The homeless has quadrupled since you've been there. You don't care about, a governor doesn't care about that. Obviously, you didn't care about it. Crime has gone rapid. It's gone out of control. The amount of police are just completely gone. I'm not a political show here. I don't give a shit. But don't keep effing it up for everybody else. And again, you're causing people to not have homes and to keep their wealth down. And it's directly connected to you. All right, guys. Let's jump into the interest rates. We did see a slight drop in FHA last Friday, but what do we see? A jump in conforming. I know the Kobesi letter said it was a nationwide average of 7.93, closing in on 8. If you have FHA, that's something to consider because that's going to be a significantly lower, rate that you have, but typically those are people putting 3.5% down, and the mortgage insurance is fairly high. So there's a lot going on in this world right now. And, and I know that my numbers are going to be down because housing is something that people are not talking about. There's so many other issues that are happening in this world and in this country that we need to address before housing. But we will talk about recession this week. And many people think we're already in a recession. But the people who really care, that we really need to care is the Fed. We're going to talk about that later this week. CPI numbers are coming out on Thursday. It's in PPI on Wednesday. Wow, big week. You guys have a fantastic rest of your Monday. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.